Hi and welcome to Cars and Coffee Stories. We are in San Clemente, California. Next to me is Ryan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Ryan, tell us about your car.
What you've got here is a 1971 Plymouth Cuda. It's got a 383. It's an automatic transmission. It's a 727 torque flight. It's restored in approximately 2002 by the previous owner. Since then, I've been just trying to give it some love and R&R, get it running right. The previous owner had a 1970 Grand Coupe that he thought the seats looked better in white. So he did the seats in white, and he did the roof liner in white as well to kind of keep a white and blue theme to the interior as well as the exterior of the car. The previous owner decided that having the visors flipped down, with blue, and having the white headliner as white still, would break up the blue on blue on blue with a white billboard. So I think the car is really cool when I approached the guy to buy it, and I was fortunate enough to come up with it. The 71 Cuda is the only car I've ever really had the desire to own, and I think it's just a beautiful car.
Where's your car passion coming from?
My car passion coming from, growing up I had a couple old hoopties going to high school, and never really made any good headway with the ladies with that. So I always told myself, when I get older, I'm going to have a really nice car. And I fell in love with the 71 Cuda, back when I was about 16 years old, first starting to drive, looking into muscle cars, and this is what I've always wanted.
What's your best experience with the car, or the worst experience?
Oh, a lot of worsts, but
Really?
As far as best experience, first burnout, I gotta tell you, it was exciting. It meant it was running good, and it meant that it was putting power down, and she's running good now. I got it, and the guy that put it together before me, he wasn't terribly, big into details with the engine, so, it had a really bad vacuum leak. I was, struggling to put power down really badly there, and it took me forever to find the vacuum leak, and, it had a really bad exhaust leak. It took me forever to find the exhaust leak. There's still a couple holes in the firewall I gotta seal up, and get the cabin, to smell like fresh air instead of classic car.
So where do you go with your car?
I like taking it out on the weekends, and I work for Cummins, so, my commute to work is pretty close. So I get to take it in at least once a week, and, it's just great to kind of change your outlook on, where you're going and how fast you're getting there. It's great, 323 highway gears in the back, so I do take it out, and I love to cruise it. I don't beat on it too hard, but maybe sometimes.
For people who are not familiar with pony cars, muscle cars, how difficult is it to drive it?
The steering in an old Plymouth, it's very light because I have automatic or power steering. So the power steering in those cars was very light. You can one finger the wheel all the way around, no big deal. So you lose a little bit of the road feel there. And you've got a big block in the front, so there's a real disconnect, with the driving experience until you get into a hairy situation, because these things, they go straight real good. Turning, not so much. So I've put front and rear sway bars in there, kind of stiffen it up so you don't get so much body roll. I've got it pretty well dialed in for the most part. So the original engine came with the dual snorkel air cleaner, which was a big center air cleaner with a hard top and then two air intakes. What I discovered is that this hood gets pretty hot, and the whole engine compartment gets pretty hot and traps heat, because as big as the grill is on the front end here, you don't get as much air getting through, to the radiator and back across the engine. So I went with a different air cleaner to help it breathe a little bit better, with the cotton top there. And
what's the favorite part on the car?
I do like the 383. It's a lot of power and torque when you want it, but interior, I have that pistol grip shifter. That's my favorite part. When this model was out, they only sold about 17,000. So, the 71 is a pretty rare car to find, because the grille, they wanted to give it that barracuda, that fish look to it. So they put gills in the front quarter panels. The cheese grater front grille. That's what makes a 71 pretty rare. The tail panel's a little different as well. They separated the reverse light from the brake light, 70 to 71. And then from 71 to 72, 3 and 4, they changed the rear tail panel to dual circles. The side markers came out and sat on the outside of the fenders. So 71 was the only year that you had 4, front headlights. So much like the Challenger next to me, you have 4 headlights, which is, pretty rare. And this car also came with the fog lamps in the front. So there's a whole bunch of lights going on in the front between, the parking lights, the headlights, the fog lamps. So it's kind of interesting. It doesn't look like the rest of the Barracudas, Cudas, or Grand Coupes, but that's the thing that I really found interesting about the car, and I kind of fell in love with is the differences. Because I always liked the wide and short Barracuda, and I always liked the 4 headlights of the Challenger. So for me, this is the perfect car.
Ryan, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.